Well, I thought we played a little better against Bowling Green. It was good to get on the positive side and trying to prepare for Louisville with a short week. We kind of knew it was coming on Friday night, so we had a plan for it. And hopefully we're kind of on schedule there with the preparation. Anytime you have a young team, I'm not sure you ever have as much time as you'd like, but I think the preparation is going okay, getting ready to play.
I guess the young secondary can expect more of the same this week. Louisville passed the ball 45 times last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd like to run the ball more if they could be more successful with it. They're probably not satisfied with their running game right now, but I mean, that's kind of who they are with a quarterback, and they've got some good receivers. And so, I mean, we're going to see their offense. I don't think they're going to change for us.
Is it any easier to practice coming off a win than coming off consecutive losses?
I think the frustration level is probably not as high, but you know, our kids have practiced pretty good all year. We haven't had an issue with that. And really, other than frustration, I mean, you know, our guys have never gotten down or given up or whatever. They just kind of go about their business. So practice has been pretty much the same.
I guess going along with the fact that they like to pass a lot, the tight end, somebody you're really going to have to keep track of this week. I think he had 8 receptions last week, a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. They play with a couple of tight ends, and you know, it depends on what you do. I mean, they're going to try to read the coverage and throw it to the guy that's open. If it's the tight end, I don't think they're going to force him the ball. They like to spread it around. The big receiver that had been really good had struggled with a lot of drops, and last week he kind of got back on par and played well and didn't do that. So, you know, they got some guys to dink it around to.
In terms of trying to, I guess, get the road monkey off the team's back at this point, kind of, is there anything you guys can do as a staff, or is it just finishing a full game?
Play. It's like I said, it's hard to win games in general, and it's hard to win on the road. We don't talk about that. I mean, it's like I tell our team and as coaches, we try to do it. I try to do it. Sometimes it's hard. You just got to turn off all the noise. It's all it is a distraction. I mean, don't worry about stuff you can't control. And you just got to get ready to go play. Field's 100 yards long. It's the same width. It's the same everything. You just got to go play. We act like we've lost 100 road games in a row. I mean, I think we had 4 last year, and we played 2 on the road this year. So, sure, we'd like to win every game, but, you know, we want to win an ACC game. That's what's important. That's more important than it being on the road game, because if we want to have a chance to win our division, we need to win a game. We need to win this game. We need to win this game for a lot of reasons. Get back to 500. I mean, it's a huge game. It's like I told our kids, it's big.
Speaking of that, the players talked about it's a little more fun sometimes for them on the road when the crowd's into it and stuff versus maybe like the Pitt game where things were a little more dim and it's at noon or whatever. Do you feel like you
Well, they
see
won't have
more?
to worry about this because they got pretty good fans there, and I'm sure they'll have a raucous crowd. They usually do.
Based on his performance against Bowling Green, do you expect Charlie Thomas to get increased reps this week?
He played a lot of reps last week. I think he'll play some. I mean, I think he was out there about 30 reps last week, so he played a pretty good amount of time. So certainly the plan is to play him some this week for sure.
With Tequan, it seems like he plays better when he's loose and relaxed. And it seems like that's something that maybe you've kind of talked to him about. You said something on your radio show last night about that a little bit.
You know, Tequan's probably had a couple of halves where he didn't play very, very good. First half at Pitt, and maybe the first half against Clemson. But You know, and that wasn't all him. I'm not worried about Tequan. He'll be fine. I mean, it's like I said, we've got to get, if everybody else will play as good as he does, we'll be okay.
Beyond the need to change your schedule when you play a Friday game like this, what are your thoughts? What are the pluses and minuses to playing a college football game on a Friday, being the only show on TV, so to speak, et cetera?
You know, I guess that that would be a positive, that you're a national TV game on Friday night. Personally, to me, I think Friday night's high school football night, and I think the one thing, at least it's on the road, I think we'd get a lot of major blowback if you played a Friday night game in the state of Georgia here with the high schools. It's, you know, the way TV controls everything now, it's in the contract. This is the first time we've had to play on a Friday night. We come back, and then you talk about schedules in 2 weeks, then we go play on Thursday night. So it's different. It takes you out of your routine, but you have to plan for it. You know, you probably do gain some people viewing, although I think there's still probably a lot of people that go to high school games on Friday night. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Traditionally, kind of on that idea, when you've played teams for the first time, you tend to put up a lot of numbers, except for maybe in the rare occasions where they have really good, like NFL-level front seven guys. But other than that, you seem to do pretty well. Do you feel like that's just such an inherent advantage of what you run that's so different?
Possibly. I'd like to think we've done pretty well against whoever we've played that doesn't have a lot of really good players. If you go through the line, I mean, forever I heard that the second time around and the third time around and the fourth time around, and you know, every time that we used to play that we didn't play well on offense, well, there it is. That's the game plan. It's over now. People have the blueprint. That's the way they're going to play forever. And it's just like Clemson and South Florida. They lined up exactly the same way. Didn't have the same players. Different result. I mean, that's kind of what happens. We executed better at South Florida than we did against Clemson also. That didn't help. But that's what I'm saying. It comes down to playing the game. All that stuff is blown way out of proportion sometimes, I think. Now, if you play a team that's not used to guys coming off the ball and they're used to catching and some of that, yeah, it can be an advantage sometimes maybe. It is hard to get the speed of it in practice, I can assure you. Hopefully we're going to be able to do it a little faster after having done it for 11 years than they can do in a week preparing. So the speed of it ought to be a little faster, but it still doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. I mean, I'm sure they got a plan. Coach Van Gorder's coached a lot of football. He's been around a long time. He's played Navy a bunch. He's played Army a bunch. He's played Air Force. Played us one time. He'll have a plan. They watch tape too. They'll have an idea.